Welcome back to the Victorious Gospel of True Parents, Session 3, A True Sister, the Able of Heart. All kinds of rumors spread. People said that mother is like this or that, and that we would get another mother very soon. Mother had to endure in silence. After the Holy Wedding, wasn't Satan attacking true mother? Through a feeling of let down, big demands, a huge burden, a lack of love from the members, from her husband? Father said, surely the one who was there most for her was her mother, who wasn't getting much love herself. Meanwhile, Father didn't let up on the big expectations for her. Mother encountered the juxtaposition of glorious promise and miserable reality. She had to go through the positions of wife, mother, and grandmother, and rise up to the position of queen. But she could not just act as a queen, expect to be worshipped by members, much less by the world, expect everyone to serve her. She had to give it all up and go down. In Father's words, she first had to be in a position from which she could embrace all unification women as they're able, which is a very difficult thing to do. Why difficult? It's because these women were jealous. On some level, consciously or unconsciously, they expected to be the bride. Father said, the Jeongseong, done by all women for God, is united and ripens as one fruit. Women from their 70s to young teenagers received revelations. So by choosing Hak Jahan, all those women felt scorned. And as the saying goes, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. Of course, they couldn't take it out on Father. So on whom did they vent their scorn? This 17-year-old girl. Father said, constant clamor. What rumors would not have spread? He said, you can imagine how fierce the psychological warfare was. Spiritual bullets must have flown between them on many occasions. Unification Church women did not leave her alone. They clawed at her. If they'd had their way, they would have pulled out her eyeballs and cut off her lips with a razor. You know, Father, he's quite direct, right? She was being tested in order to receive the certificate of mother, Father's words. And the teachers were looking everywhere to find an excuse to fail her. They tried to strangle her with the most difficult questions. Unification Church members, especially the women, were bound to accuse Mother the most. They were bound to hack at her and make her fall down. She had to pass through that stage and reach the place where everyone loved her. This was even more the case for True Mother's mother, Mrs. Hong. What did she do to deserve this honor? She also had to go through years of neglect from True Father, experiencing what all would consider a lack of love. Daimonim, Father said, Daimonim had to live as if with no connection to True Mother and come in through the back door. Father explained that he did this so that no one would envy her, to placate them and win over the mothers who had eligible daughters. Now, with 20/20 hindsight, we can say, oh, of course, that's so obvious. But how do we respond to a lack of love? When we do all the work and get no credit. When we sacrifice everything and get criticized for failing. When those in a parental position ignore our viewpoint and tell us to get up and spout some other words. So let's not just assume that Mrs. Hong and her daughter were on a cakewalk. Father persecuted that old woman until the other women intervened on her behalf. Father treated True Mother poorly for the same reason. Mother lived in a rented room in Kim En-chul's home for 3 years, cut off from everyone. I made her stay out out of her own home, come in by the front door and leave by the back door. When Yejin was born, mother was shivering in the cold, and father did not visit. When father traveled, he said, I took a trinity of grandmothers and mothers with me, not true mother. When Yojinim was born, father did visit. And here's how he described what happened. One woman came to the room where mother was staying with her newborn son, laid down on the floor and thrashed about, shouting, give me this room, it is mine. She made a fuss with her shouts of, give it to me, get out. She must have made thousands of years worth of conditions to see the day she would become the mother. And here was young mother who didn't look as if she had made any conditions at all. That woman must really have been stunned. She was thinking, I should have become true mother. That is so sad, isn't it? So I just looked at her and did not react, and mother also just looked at her and remained calm. Nowadays, this is called the ministry of presence. You affirm what the person is going through and stay with them, present with them, not judging, just accepting and loving them. In Father's words, if the Abel of heart cannot win over the Cain of heart, he has no place to stay. To occupy the position of the Abel of heart, one has to absorb and keep intact the foundation of the Cain of heart. This is how true parents resurrected our membership. By true mother enduring hatred from the closest disciples. The way of indemnity is the harshest way, and father could not explain this to mother. She had to know by herself. Father's words. Thus, she has to be hated the most at first, and then be liberated. Only then could she finally be elevated to the position of true mother. And so, through the women of the Unification Church, although the women of the Unification Church hated her at first, as the days passed and they saw the way she was treated, even the old women pitied her. Then the middle-aged women, and lastly the young girls, everyone came to stand on mother's side. Nevertheless, through all this, she lived each day feeling grateful to God. I know that she lived like that. So do you think I'm a good husband or a tyrannical one? Even under such circumstances, she still kept up with it all, and in the end she became the true mother who is even greater than the Holy Mother Mary. Father's words. How did Mother Mary feel when Jesus rebuked her? John's Gospel says that after that episode, the wedding at Cana, Jesus and his disciples spent several days with her and with Jesus' family. It seems from the rest of Jesus' course that the relations were not good, that Mary could not overcome being abandoned by her son. I believe that what Father is saying here is that by putting true mother through that, and true mother remaining steadfast in her commitment to Father, Mother Mary resurrected. Father went on to say, the most admirable point about Mother was that she believed in me more than in her own father, grandfather, or elder brother. She believed in me 100%. Thus, she overcame all the obstacles and established a firm position. Since a man got the victory, a woman also had to gain the victory. Mother confronted the society and nation that opposed her and overcame everything during that 7-year period. Note that Father said the society and nation opposed Mother, not him, not him. It didn't oppose him, it opposed Mother. And that she, not he, overcame everything. She had to do it on her own, just as God and Jesus left true Father alone in his most desperate times. and what was accomplished. Father said, "During this period, I set up Parents' Day, Children's Day, World Day, and God's Day." What does God's Day mean in reference to Mother's course? Mother's mission was to have unshakable confidence in her husband, regardless of the circumstance and in spite of all opposition. On another occasion, Father said, whatever happened, even if she should die, she had to keep an unchangeable attitude toward her husband. For the first time in history, when God and man could believe in a woman, 100% God's Day could be established. That was January 1st, 1968. In order to restore the standard of restoration by indemnity for both men and women, this is Father's words, Eve had to go through the completion stage from the top of the growth stage. Upon entering the 8th year, after completing her 7-year course, Mother and I could obtain God's seal as a true perfected family, and we could take our position on the earth. Now, according to divine principle, perfection means that one is unable to fall. And I quote, "When did the first human ancestors fall? They fell during their growing period, when they were still immature. If human beings fell after they had attained perfection, then there would be no basis for belief in the omnipotence of God. If human beings fell after they had become perfect embodiments of goodness, then goodness itself would be imperfect. Accordingly, we would be forced to conclude that God, as the source of goodness, is also imperfect. Thus, true parents' victory, celebrated by God's Day, was that they, as a husband and wife, could obtain God's seal as a true, perfected family on the foundation of God's principle, husband and wife, unable to fall. In summary, we have seen that all women stood on the foundation of suffering and faith to be the bride. They naturally resented the one who was chosen. The one chosen appeared unworthy, to have no qualifications. In short, it seemed unfair for Abel to receive the blessing. It is like the account of Jesus' time in the house of two sisters, Mary and Martha, which is the subject of this artwork. Martha was fraught with anxiety and working hard to prepare everything for Jesus, and Mary was just sitting with him and listening. Martha complained to Jesus, telling him to have her sister get up and do some work. Jesus responded that Martha was worrying about many things, but Mary was focused on the one thing that mattered. Without going into more details, it is clear that Father and Mother took the responsibility of Jesus and Mary to restore Martha's heart. I note that true Father could not intervene. It was true Mother's responsibility. The one who is chosen must love and serve those who are not chosen. The chosen one must absorb their resentment, anger, and jealousy. True Mother could have questioned true Father and demanded that he intervene and put those women in their place, but she did not. And what's more, Father even treated her and her mother coldly. And to cap it off, she was suffering in an impoverished church and giving birth to children from age 18. There must have been accusations that when the first child was a girl, look, she's not the real mother. The real mother would have given Father a boy. Look at how disappointed Father is. Mother's situation was like Mary in a barn. But even Mary had Joseph with her, and she was visited by the Magi and the shepherds. Father did not visit Mother. She was set up to feel a great lack of love, and true Mother overcame. Yet she loved and served the members, especially the women, and she loved and completely united with true Father. She and her mother was selfless for God, true Father, and the church. Now, I wasn't there, but we will read in Father's letters to Mother, written in 1965, while he was on the First World Tour, that he expected her to be responsible for all the members while this was going on, and to take care of them. A 22-year-old woman, pregnant with her third child. Thus, True Father could establish God's Day and praise True Mother as even greater than the Holy Mother Mary. True Mother was the key to the creation of God's Day. Everything since then, to this day, has been more candles illuminating her absolute love for God and Father. Thank you for listening.